You guys hear us right
Lee
now?
Summit North, and we're going to start with junior varsity.
I guess that's enough.
We're starting at the 195-pound.
Good evening, Blue Jay fans. Welcome to Liberty High School. Today we're going to have a three-dual matchup against the Liberty Blue Jays, Blue Springs South, and Lee Summit North. We're expecting a good match tonight as Blue Jays are multiple-time state champions, not to mention ninth in the nation. What do you have to say about that, Kyman?
Yeah, I'm super excited for this matchup. We know that Liberty High School has a pretty prominent stance within the wrestling just community, and I'm excited to see how this plays out.
Yeah, for sure. We're excited to see how we do tonight. We're starting off with a JV matchup.
Lee Summit North is open. £285 weight class. Liberty, Anthony Lewis. Lee Summit North open.
All right, we're starting off with a couple of victories for just non-matchups.
£106 weight classes both open.
106
113.
class, both open.
We've got from Lee Summit North, Gayu Kim. Excuse me, this is 113. Gayu Kim. And Liberty is open.
On 113, we have Lee Summit North, Gayu Kim, and Liberty is open.
Jaden.
Okay, when we say that the weight classes are open, it means they don't have a matchup from the other team, whether maybe one didn't make weight or just they don't have somebody to wrestle against. So that is a forfeit pretty much, and the automatic win goes to the person who was not ready to have a matchup, you know?
Gayu Kim gets the open 113. This is the 120.
What happens when they're both open is just nothing. It's nothing. Starting up next, we have, let's see, who is this? Liberty and Lee Summit North Broncos. This is a JV matchup. Looks like in the lower weight class. The Broncos currently holds control against Liberty. Liberty is fighting back, but doesn't seem to have much control over this as the Broncos are dominating for the most part. When wrestling, you can have one foot in the thing. See, they have come out the circle, therefore they start over. Starting off, the Broncos on top, which is, I guess it depends on the player. Some people prefer to be on the bottom because they can make their way up to the top, and some people like to start from the top and make it down. They have a throwdown right there, throwing him real hard on the ground. What do you think about this, Kylan? Okay, thank you. They had a technical foul. It was a foul against the Blue Jays. I think. Once again, the Broncos starting off on top. Liberty's really struggling with this one just to take control and get in a good place to turn over.
Yeah, we're definitely seeing Lee Summit North take control of this match and keep the upper hand.
Yeah. And we have a pin. The win goes to the Lee Summit North Broncos. It was a good match. Both fought hard. It's just one had more control the whole time. If Liberty could have gotten at least one chance to get on top, we could have seen a totally different matchup there. Here we go. We have another open. Win goes to the Broncos.
132, Liberty is open. Lee Summit North, Preston Sonaro.
132 is open. There's a lot that goes into wrestling. It's so much of a mental sport as well as a physical. It's impressive the way they go through making and cutting weight, which can sometimes be so harmful to the body. What do you think?
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think it's a unique sport in that aspect. These wrestlers go out and they work hard off the mats and on the mats, and this is where it all pays off at.
We have another JV match against Liberty. Once again, the Lee Summit North Broncos.
Emily Harris, if you are in the building, you need to get the bus that is out in front of the building. Emily Gutierrez.
Starting off for a fight with control. Liberty now has control with, the Broncos are fighting hard. Liberty has him by the leg. There might be a turnover here. Let's see. There has been a turnover now with Lee Summit North on top and withholding control. It seems as Blue Jays are fighting hard by grabbing the leg and trying to roll him over the top like a somersault. He's now on his head. Liberty's doing a fantastic job of fighting back and refusing to let him get control. I'm having a hard time telling who is necessarily in control right now because it really seems like Liberty is on control from the bottom. North has Liberty in a headlock, but Liberty only has one shoulder on the mat, therefore there is no pin yet. I believe the Broncos now have control over the situation, and Liberty's having a hard time fighting it. And there's the pin. And the win goes to Lee Summit North Broncos, but good fight from both of them.
That was a strong match. Liberty originally had the control, but ultimately Summit North was able to just get him on the ground and keep dominance the whole time.
We have another open match.
160, Liberty, Elijah Brooks. Lee Summit North, Dylan Beck.
We have at 160 Elijah Brooks and Lee Summit North. I'm going to be honest, I forgot the name. Starting off with a friendly handshake. Just trying to get control. Liberty starts with a grab at the leg. Just kicking back. I'm almost picked up all the way in the air, which is that's impressive. These are heavy kids. Liberty has control with Broncos fighting from the bottom. As long as they keep at least 1 foot, I believe, in the arena, then play goes on. If both feet step out from one of them, then they start over.
Elijah took a shot earlier in the match and was able to get him on the ground.
Liberty currently has 4 points over North and continuing to lead control throughout this entire match. Liberty has him by the wrists, trying to flip him over to his back, takes him by the leg, has him down. We almost had a turnover, but Liberty manages to recover from that. This is a hard-fought match, as you can see that Liberty is just trying to get him on his back, but North will not let that happen with staying on his stomach and keeping one shoulder off the mat.
Summit North is trying to do their best to get up from this, but Elijah Brooks is doing whatever he can to keep him down.
They have 11 seconds, now 10 on the clock to complete this first set. It still doesn't seem as they're getting any far, but Liberty continues and time is up. Liberty is going to start on bottom with Lee Summit North on top.
Right off the bat, Elijah got up, which was interesting to see, considering Elijah had to put up a fight during the first round to get him on the ground. And once again, we've kind of seen this play out similarly as the last round. Elijah was able to get him back and attempting to get him on his back right now.
It is impressive that Liberty has kept control of this entire match the whole time, as that's not very common. Usually it will go back and forth. They are coming out from offsides, with this time the Broncos on bottom with the Liberty on top. And here we go.
I think we're seeing a lot of that strength from Elijah Brooks. He's a varsity football player, putting in that strength and getting him on the ground once again.
Brooks is doing a fantastic job of just not letting him get a chance. He is staying in control, and the fact that the Broncos hasn't been hit yet is impressive. And there's the pin to Elijah Brooks, our first JV winner.
170 pounds, Liberty, Thomas Tempest, Lee Summit North Open.
Another open match that goes to Liberty. Going to be interesting to see how this differs from JV. What will we see different? What will we see the same? How will we see the skill levels improve? What do you think, Kynan?
Yeah, I think obviously with varsity, you get a little bit more technical. You see a lot more strength out there on those mats. Interested to see how this plays out.
A lot of our varsities are coming from state championships, with many of them placing, including Kyle Dutton and multiple others. It's especially in the lower weights, I see. And the difference I've been seeing so far with the lower weights against the heavyweights is that there's just more. There's just more. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I definitely get what you mean.
This lineup seems predominantly all lined up for the most part, except for one open on Lee Summit North in the 152. But other than that, seems like we're going to have a full matchup against this duel. I'm going to start with, I don't know if we're going to start with the heavyweights or the lower weights, but from 285 we have Cameron Clark Jr. and Trevor Taylor. From Liberty, we have Trenton Bindle. And from the Broncos, we have Hank Talley. 195, Liberty Wintrick Williams III. And from Lee Summit North, Cade Williams. 182, we have Liberty Jeremiah Halter and Ellen, and then Liberty Lee Summit North, Drew Gray. 170, we have Liberty Peyton Westfall and Lee Summit North, Chase Clark. Noah White. And 160, we have Jason Briones and Chase Clark. On 152, from Liberty, we have Isaiah Hung, and from Lee Summit North, Open. 145, the state champion Kyle Dutton, and from Lee Summit North, Colton Baxter. On 138, we have Liberty Carson Roddick and Lee Summit North. And there goes my light, so I can no longer see my paper. Getting ready to introduce I think this is always fun for high schoolers, getting a fun little entrance.
Yes.
It gives the audience something as well. I feel
It's
like
fun
it gives
and entertaining
some
for the
personality.
audience. Gets everyone hyped up.
100%. We're currently playing the hype video over our Jumbotron, which almost all of our sports get those. They have a lot of fun creating them, for sure, I can tell you that. Just posing for the camera, getting to show off what they do best. Even those who don't like being filmed enjoy this, I feel like, for the most part. All right, what are our predictions coming? I'm thinking that Liberty's going to come off with a win of, who knows? I think Lee Summit North's only going to get one or two wins. What do you think?
Yeah, I think we have a strong matchup here at Liberty. We have a lot of our key players out here wrestling tonight. Obviously, with a lot of national standings and stuff like that, I think Liberty's going to hold up pretty strong. I guess we just have to see how Lee Summit North holds up with this. Just in our JV match earlier, we saw a lot of technical skills and strength from our JV boys, and I think that the varsity boys can do just as good.
100%. I really think Liberty's going to prevail here and show us some things that, I don't know, we've never seen before. And I think I'm new to wrestling, and I believe you are too. Is that correct? And this whole thing is a learning experience for the both of us. I'm excited to see how these boys can show us what happens.
Exactly.
Starting off with the seniors being introduced. Starting off shaking the hands of the senior of the other team. Talking to the ref. Starting off with the coin flip. I'm not sure who got it. Guess we'll find out.
Ladies and gentlemen, the varsity girls are going to start out at 149. Liberty is open. Lee Summit North has Hannah Knott.
Liberty girls start out with Liberty open and Lee Summit
The
North
men are
Hannah
starting at
Knott.
195. For Liberty, Winfred Williams III. Lee Summit North, Cade Williams.
And we're starting with 195, Wintrick Williams III and Cade Williams. They both have the same last name. So Wintrick is from Liberty and Cade is from Lee Summit North. And we'll see how this goes. I know Wintrick, who is a fantastic football player,
Oh, yeah.
a good student. All around, let's see what he can do. Wrestling, I know he is also coming off a recent state championship. I can't remember if that was in 2021 or 2020. It's one of those.
Lee Summit North, Megan Watson.
boys varsity matches starting off right now.
And we are go. Broncos coming out strong, but Liberty's managing to stay on top. Holding control.
Wintrick already rolling him over, trying to get him on his back.
East North fighting hard, coming out of that hold. Wintrick is quick to try to get him back on that ground.
Yeah, you see Lee Summit North taking some shots, but not going all the way through, and I think Wintrick is using that to his advantage. You can see him grabbing his hand right now and his wrist.
And we have a pin that goes to Wintrick. Didn't even take more than a minute, which is very impressive, so congratulations, Wintrick, and that was a fantastic fight from both boys.
At 220 pounds for Liberty, Trenton Bindle. East Summit North, Hank Natali.
For 220, we have Liberty Trenton Bindle, and from Lee Summit North, we have Hank Mattel.
Interesting thing about Trenton is that he's a freshman weighing in at 220. This is pretty impressive for him to be wrestling at the varsity level, this amount of skill. He is also a member of the football team, so we get to see a lot of his strength and kind of competitiveness.
And starting from the beginning as they have stepped off. Neither of them really holding control right now, just kind of fighting to gain it with just grabbing him and seeing if they can push one down first. And they have continuing to do their thing.
None of them really taking shots right now. I think they're feeling out the competition.
Really are. I think both of them are struggling mentally on deciding what to do. Because this is a mental sport. You have to think more than you do, because if you make the wrong move.
And Trenton, as we just saw there, took a shot on his leg.
It seems that Liberty has control and fighting to keep that. Lee Summit North is doing a fantastic job of staying off the ground. And we have a turnover. Lee Summit North has escaped Liberty and is now trying to flip him on his back. It's hard to tell who still has control. I believe Liberty has taken back the control
right now. Doesn't look like Lee Summit North. Lee Summit North was able to get out of that.
Come on, Maddie!
Lee Summit North is back on top of Liberty. Let's see if Trenton can. Oh, and they've called. Trenton Bindle once again is on top of Lee Summit North.
Come on, Maddie, keep ready, let's go!
Liberty once again on top, and they are starting from the center with Liberty on bottom.
There you go!
Starting off quickly, I believe Liberty or Lee Summit North now has control for the first time in this duel. It is currently 7-2 with Liberty winning. We already have one victory from Liberty from Wintrick Williams, and maybe we can make it 2. We'll see.
We are now seeing Lee Summit North's Hank Natali get dominance over Liberty High School's Trenton Bindle.
This has really been a long, hard-fought match from the both of them. Usually,
Absolutely. I think
Absolutely.
whenever Trenton and Hank were on the same level, Trenton was able to take that dominance. With Trenton being under, I think he had a little bit of difficulty getting up, and Hank was able to take advantage of that.
Liberty starting on the ground.
Come on, Maddie.
And Lisa McNutt immediately taking control. Liberty's fighting really hard from the bottom. I can't even imagine what's going through their heads right now, just trying to figure out what to do.
Absolutely.
Liberty has escaped the headlock and is gaining control. Quickly overturns that and managed the escape with about 50 seconds on the clock to make something happen. Liberty is still up 7-2. Start on top with this McNutt on the bottom, waiting for the ref to give him the go. And here we go. We got Lisa McNutt taking control from the bottom. They both are on the feet now. Lisa McNutt escaping, which is really hard to do, I feel like. It is getting aggressive now. And Liberty has almost got it. See the ref just watching for that second shoulder to hit.
Kendall putting all of his pressure on one side, trying to get both of those shoulders. But Natali's not giving up.
We're getting a lot of applause from the crowd. Just getting hyped up.
At 285 for Liberty, Cameron Clark.
And we have a pin. And Liberty has won it, keeping their 2-0 streak so far. They're out of breath. That was hard. That was one of the.
That was a nice matchup.
Yeah, that was really interesting.
At 106, Liberty, Devin Harrison, Lisa McNutt, Zach Scherer.
And now we have some of the lighter weights starting off.
We are seeing aggressive attacks from the start. They are going all at it.
Liberty has control. I've seen Liberty is doing a fantastic job of immediately getting control. It's right off the back, it's quick, and I think that's what helps them throughout their season. I think that's one of their strongest assets.
It's interesting because right off the start with some of these lighter weight wrestlers, we're seeing a lot of movement, a lot of flexibility, just overall more action than the heavyweights. But obviously with the heavyweight wrestlers, we're seeing a lot more strength and control and dominance in this. These two wrestlers are going back and forth. It's going to be an interesting matchup.
It is going to be an interesting matchup for sure. I think it's really cool to see the difference between lightweights and heavyweights. There's so much more movement within the lightweights. Just, well, I guess I feel like the heavyweights are more just.
Yeah. Now got Liberty on top of Lee Summit North, trying to get him on his back. Once again, we're seeing that wrist movement to get him to flip over, and it's almost worked. Lee Summit North is struggling, and that's the thing.
And that is the pin. Congratulations to Liberty keeping their third win.
Liberty, Hunter Taylor, Lee Summit North, Logan, Inako.
We now have the 120 weight with Liberty being Hunter Taylor and Lee Summit North being Logan. I believe it's Logan 9 is Jocko.
The sweep of the legs. Liberty has gained control once again. This one North is refusing to get a shoulder on the ground, just keeping him up. We have both of them fighting for control. Liberty is really close to a pin here, just needs to get that last shoulder while Lee Summit North fights that and is an escape. That was a difficult one for sure.
Absolutely. Going back to what we were talking about earlier, just super interesting to see how these lightweight wrestlers wrestle compared to the heavyweight wrestlers. That move that Lee Summit North just pulled to get out, that's not something that you will see in heavyweight wrestling.
And we have a pin. I think
Good
the
job,
Broncos are
Liberty.
really struggling against Liberty tonight.
Yeah.
At 126 pounds, Liberty, Cooper Ryder, Lee Summit North, Peyton Cole.
At 126 pounds, we have Cooper Ryder and Peyton Cole. Liberty has him by the leg.
I think what we're seeing here is Liberty is really focusing on taking those first shots and taking control sooner than rather later. I think that's helping them in the long run. But as we see right here, Lee Summit North is trying to flip him over. Liberty was straddling his leg to keep control. We're now going to see Lee Summit North on the bottom, Liberty High School on top.
I think Liberty has done a fantastic job of making it so Lee Summit North has no control over this, as even though he has been great at escaping a lot of these holes. Lee Summit North has pulled them out of boundaries in order to get a restart, which is a good tactic by him, I think, for sure. That was one he probably couldn't have gotten out of.
Yeah. I think Lee Summit North is really playing the defense with this one.
Seems to be the trend, just playing defense all around, because it seems
Yeah.
that's all he can do. With Liberty immediately taking control, he hardly has a chance.
If you take close notice, we can see Liberty taking control of Lee Summit North's right hand, which is really allowing him not to be able to get up and stay in that downward position.
Liberty starting out on bottom. This is, I think, one of the best ways for Lee Summit North to get control right off the bat.
Absolutely. If they take advantage of this, I think Lee Summit North might have a better chance. But as we're seeing right now, Liberty's been quick to get up and kind of take that dominant position once again, but Lee Summit North has his leg.
Liberty has
just like
quickly
that.
gained control.
Absolutely.
And with an escape from Lee Summit North. But not for long before Liberty took right over. Starting from the beginning again with Lee Summit North on the bottom.
For Liberty, Jackson Hicks. Lee Summit North, Adrian Hale.
Waiting for the go, and we're right off the bat with Liberty gaining control, and Lee Summit North just fighting its way through, just trying to fill time. This was one of the most impressive things I've seen from Lee Summit North. They really trained to keep that defense, and I haven't seen him give up at all or lose hope. I feel like something inside of him knows he still is in this, and that's one of the mental components that we talked about earlier, because it is an incredibly mental sport.
Absolutely. I think while Liberty has taken control in most of these rounds, Lee Summit North has done an amazing job of just showing what it means not to give up.
This is one of the longer matchups that we've seen, both starting in a neutral position. Liberty is up 5-0. I think this is, I was just about to say that Lee Summit North had gained control before Liberty quickly took over.
And they're both back up. As I said earlier, Liberty's just really taking those first shots, and I think that's making all the difference.
Liberty's really going for those takedowns, as we just saw, just picking him up and slamming him back on the ground, just like he owns the place. Liberty is now 9-1, with Lee Summit North finally gaining a point. Liberty is still in control, with Lee Summit North fighting hard. This is, even though Liberty is up by so many points, this is a good match.
It's been a long match for these two.
It has been. It's been interesting to watch.
Once again, we see Liberty doing a lot with the opponent's hands and arms to prevent him from getting up, and I think that's what's keeping Liberty in this game.
And that's the match with time. Liberty managed to pull that out by points.
For the weight of 138, we have Liberty's Carson Rodick, and we also have Seth Hooper. Carson Rodick for Liberty is a freshman.
Right off the bat, I think this is Lee Summit North in control. They're being aggressive, they're being quick, and I think maybe by Lee Summit North watching the other matches that their tactic is just knowing that, okay, we need to go quick now.
Absolutely. We saw Seth Hooper for Lee Summit North take that initial shot, and I think that's what's making a difference right now. Liberty's Carson Rodick is having trouble getting back up.
Right now, Lee Summit North is up by 2. This is the first time that I have seen that Broncos really prevail. I think the aggressive right off the bat tactic is the way to go for Lee Summit North.
Absolutely.
I'm saying that Liberty's defense is not as strong as their offense, is that he is struggling to escape from the hold. You see Lee Summit North trying to get under his arm and flip him over as Liberty uses his head and arches his back and to try to support himself before he gets himself on the ground.
Carson Rodick is trying to get back up. Lee Summit North Seth Hooper puts him in the same position continually.
Lee Summit North is now 8-0 as he has stayed in control. He's taken Liberty down multiple times, but this is Liberty's chance to get control right off the bat and see what he can do to either get a pin or gain a couple of points. That is a neck breaker right there, just watching him flip him over.
That looked painful.
That did look painful. I don't think I could withhold that, which is why physically this is such a grueling sport.
It is.
Liberty has control over this match for the first time since the beginning, and I think starting off on top has really helped him. He is picking him up and trying to throw him back down. But Lee Summit North
Carson Rodick, yeah, he had that lead in the beginning, but Lee Summit North was able to take that back. Might see a pin right here.
It was close, but Liberty's just not taking it, trying to quickly roll over on shoulders before they both touch. But he looks like he's in pain. You can see on his face that he is not comfortable, but he is fighting. And there's the pin with Lee Summit North's first victory of the night. Oh, yep, I was right.
170 pounds, Liberty, Peyton Westfall. Lee Summit North, Noah White.
Right now we have Liberty Peyton Westfall and Lee Summit North's Noah White at 170 pounds. Peyton Westfall immediately trying to sweep the leg. trying to get him off balance, flip him out. Westfall is doing a fantastic job of just getting him in an uncomfortable. And there's the pin. That was a quick one.
That was quick.
He was aggressive. He did everything he was supposed to. Didn't let Lee Summit North get out of anything.
Liberty, Jeremiah Halter. Lee Summit North, Drew Gray.
At 182, we have Jeremiah Halter and Drew Gray. Like we said, in 182, we're going to have Jeremiah Halter and Drew Gray come up to the mat. Looks like we are holding for a slight second, but we can see one of the JV matches on the other mats. It looks like Liberty has control over there. It's time for our JV match. Looks like over here on the left we have Lee Summit North and on bottom and Liberty on top. Let's see how this match differs from one of our varsity matches, if it does at all.
Head up the mat, Chase. Get your arm back. Come on, Chase. Put your wrist down. Put your right wrist down. Head up, Chase. Up, Chase. Up. Yes.
We see Liberty having a takedown with, once again, all right, correction, this is a varsity match against Jason Briones and Chase Clark at 195. Had a little mix up there because they switched mats, but that's okay. Correction, 182. Lee Summit North has 2, and Liberty is prevailing with 11.
I didn't get a good initial look of the start of the match, so I'm not for sure if Jay took that initial shot, but once again we're seeing Liberty just take control, staying on top, seeing Lee Summit North trying to hold it in there.
Jay's done a fantastic job of keeping control most of the time, but Clark is really just fighting back, trying to avoid that and stay defensively. We're getting big applause from the crowd with Liberty for the win.
Final score of that match, Liberty Blue Jays 56, Lee Summit North 16. Our next set of matches will
Final
be
match
Blue Spring
score was
South
Liberty
versus Lee
56 to
Summit
Lee
North.
Summit North
Blue
16.
Junior Varsity.
We saw the Blue Jays put up a good fight out there. I think overall, we just saw them take dominance first and taking those quick initial shots. They weren't really wasting any energy or any time, and I think that's what got us this win here today. We saw Lee Summit North. We saw one of their matches was pretty strong that they won against Liberty, but otherwise with that, I think they were just kind of struggling with the offense, and they were more on the defensive side of all of these matches. And not really taking control very fastly, and I think that's what cost them this match.
I think part of it is also they came in a little nervous knowing how good Liberty is, knowing that it is going to be a tough match, and I think maybe they might have let that get to their head so they weren't as aggressive as usual.
Absolutely, and I think just kind of seeing some of that competition also helps because as the round progressed, we did see Lee Summit North trying to take action sooner and kind of picking up on Liberty's tactics, but overall I just don't think it was enough.
Absolutely. Right now we are seeing the Blue Spring South Jaguars and the Lee Summit North Broncos warm up.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start off with the junior varsity at the 195-pound weight class. For Blue Springs South, we have Bryson Nolan. For Lisa North, we have London Whitman. Our next weight class will be at 152 for Blue Springs South, Carter Roach. For Lisa North, Chicago Florence. Our next bout will be at 160 for Blue Springs South, Dawson Henry. Lisa North, Dylan Beck. Boys will start out at 195. For Blue Springs South, excuse me, the girls will start at 151. Blue Springs South is open. Lee Summit North, Megan Watson. At 159, Blue Springs South, Cadence Burnside. Lee Summit North is open. Blue Springs South, Trinity Grainer. Lee Summit North is open. At 107, Blue Springs South, Hannah Knott. Lee Summit North is open. At 122, Blue Springs South, Mika Flutie. Lee Summit North open. At 132, Blue Springs South, Maddie Talley. Lee Summit North open. That concludes our girls varsity. Boys varsity starting at 220. From Blue Springs South, Gavin Mahurin. From Lee Summit North, Hank Natali. At 285, Blue Springs South is open. Lee Summit North, Trevor Taylor. At 106, Blue Springs South is open. Lee Summit North, Zach Scherer. At 113, Blue Springs South, Logan Maynard. For Lee Summit North, Charlie Dykes. At 125 pounds, Blue Springs South is open. Lee Summit North, Logan Mangaco. 26. Blue Spring South, Tyler Fields, Lisa North, and Cole.
This is not real money. Little TikTok. Hey, hey, bro. Orange shoes. Orange shoes. Hey, up here, up here. Let us watch your TikTok. Turn the brightness up. Hey, your sister, Julia. Turn the brightness up. All right. So. Next video. Talking to him. Don't have any more money. Talking to him. Where? My brother, fucking brother. Shut up. Hey, can I have some Mike and Ike? Mike and Ike. Let me borrow $2. Come bring it over here.
Lisa North, Adrian Hale.
You can bring it to the stage. No way.
At 138, Blue Spring South is open. Lisa North, Seth Hooper. At 145, Blue Springs South is open. Lee Summit North, Colton Baxter. At 160, Blue Springs South, Trey Griner. Lisa North, Chase Clark. At 170 pounds, Blue Springs South, August Finest. Lee Summit North, Noah White. At 182 pounds, Blue Springs South is open. Lee Summit North, Drew Gray. At 195 pounds, Blue Springs South, Caden Payne. Lee Summit North, Kate Williams.
Come on.
match between Blue Springs South and Lee Summit North. Ladies and gentlemen, with a little break in the action, feel free to visit our concession stands. They are open and are right below the scoreboard. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to begin with Junior Varsity, the Liberty Blue Jays, and Blue Springs South Jaguars. We are starting at 285 pounds. Our first match, however, will be at 138 pounds. Pedro Davis Jr. for Liberty and Christian Hill for Blue Springs South. Dawson Hemming. Our final junior varsity match will be at 285 pounds for Liberty, Anthony Lewis. For Blue Springs South, oops, excuse me, this is at 220 pounds. For Liberty, it's Treble Bendel. And for Blue Springs South, it is Tegan Hall.
No, where? Oh.
That concludes the junior varsity matches. We are now ready for varsity boys and varsity girls. Varsity girls are starting at 174 and both teams are open. At 194, Liberty is open. Blue Springs South, Trinity Reiner. For varsity boys, is open at 105. Liberty, Jaden Breeden. Blue Springs South, Anna Knott. Starting with varsity boys, at 285, Liberty, Cameron Clark. Blue Springs South is open. At 106, Liberty, Devin Harrison. Blue Springs South is open. At 113, Liberty, Jaden Halter. Blue Springs South, Logan Maynard. 1:15, both teams are open. At 1:20, varsity girls. For Liberty, Julia Breeden. For Blue Springs South, Micah Flutie.
God. Not even fair.
Varsity girls at 1:25, Maddie Talley. Blue Springs South is open. At 1:35, Liberty Daisy Rapp. Blue Springs South is open. At 1:41, Liberty Madison Buell. Blue Springs South is open. Both girls are open 1:49. At 1:59, Liberty Isabel Talley. Blue Springs South, Cadence Burnside.
Welcome back, Blue Jays. I'm Claire Hamilton. And alongside of me is Kyman Warman. We are now on Blue Springs South against Liberty, starting off with Jaden Halter. Starting off strong. Here, Blue Springs South up 5-3. Right now, Blue Springs South has taken control of Liberty, but Liberty is fighting back hard. And we have an overturn with
Liberty's currently on top.
Liberty has managed to regain control.
Includes the varsity girls. At 1:20 for the boys, Liberty.
You can see Blue Springs South really struggling. And he's really close to getting that, and then there is the pin.
Nice job on Liberty's part. He was really able to get around to that shoulder, ultimately turning Blue Springs South over and getting him pinned.
On 126, you have Liberty and Blue Springs South getting ready to go. Jackson Hicks. Correction, this is Cooper Ryder and Tyler Fields. Cooper getting aggressive from the start. Immediately taking control and flipping him onto his stomach. Now all he has to do is flip him back onto his back and able to get that pin.
At 1:45, Liberty, Kyle Dutton. Blue Springs South open.
already we're starting to see some of those tactics that we saw earlier where Liberty's taking those first shots and then making sure that the opposing team can't really get up. And they're using their arms, their shoulders, just kind of keep those parts restrained and keep them down and keep the opposing team on the defense.
Liberty still in control against Blue Springs South.
Blue Springs South, Tyler Ryder is trying to get out of this, but Cooper Ryder's holding it in.
And there's the pin. You can see the defeat in Blue Springs South. It's so hard to really give your all out there and still just not being able to complete the job.
Yeah, absolutely. They put a lot of work into these matches. Their energy, strength, all that goes into this.
Yeah. Our next matchup, we have Jason Briones from Liberty and Trey Greener from Blue Springs South. See,
Liberty's Jay is already getting on top, trying to take that dominance.
I see frequently in Jay's wrestling style that he tries to go for the legs, keep his legs hooked so he can't stand up. All his opponent has is the arm strength.
Absolutely, and even that, as we see right now, Jay's doing his best to keep one of those arms constrained so that his opponent can't get up. He's also straddling the opponent's leg, basically making them unable to move and wearing out his opponent.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's one of the best things he can do. As being on the lighter side, it's just making sure that he can stay as aggressive as possible.
Absolutely. Blue Springs South, Trey attempted to get up right then, but Jason was putting a lot of his weight towards the upper part of his body, basically allowing him not to even get up. And once again, we're seeing Jay kind of wear out the opponent.
He knows he is safe on his stomach, and I think Jay's having a hard time figuring out how to flip him over.
Absolutely.
I believe Blue Springs South right now is just trying to play it safe and wait till he gets another chance in the next set, because he knows there's nothing Jay can do when he's on his stomach, and he's obviously having a really hard time flipping him over.
Absolutely. Right there we saw Jay was kind of trying to take control of his hand and get around on his shoulder, but like you said, Trey from Blue Springs South was consistent with staying on his stomach and just kind of keeping that match just until the time ran out.
Yeah, Liberty starting on bottom with Blue Springs South on top. And we see Blue Springs South is really struggling to get Liberty down. And there we go. He is in full control right now. He is so close. All he has to do is get that second shoulder down, but Jay is fighting that really well. We can see he flipped back over to the safe side of his stomach, using his arms and elbows to lift himself off the ground. All he has to do is escape this and regain control. They are now on both feet, but Blue Springs South has taken the leg and taking him into the ground, which has given them 2 more points, which has taken the lead over Liberty. So it's now Blue Springs South 3 and Liberty 2. This match has taken an impressive overturn. We really thought Jay had this, and all it took was a new setup, and the Jaguars are now in control.
Absolutely. I think it's a little bit harder whenever Jay was down, but whenever they were both up, Jay was pretty good with taking those first shots and getting Trey to the ground. But I think Trey took advantage of the fact that Jay was going to be down this match and use that to the best of his advantage. I think we're going to see right here, Jay might make a shot. We know that Liberty has kind of patternized making the first move, so we might see that here in a second.
They're starting in a neutral position, which I think will be easier for Jay to get more of a offensive handle to start off with, because it's hard to start on the bottom because you're already in a defensive position. And I think whoever starts the control has a way higher likely chance of winning.
Absolutely.
And we are taking a timeout just to fix, looks like a bloody nose, which I think this is the first one we've seen tonight, which is impressive. Usually there's quite a few of these.
Yeah. First one tonight, but I know this is a common thing among wrestlers.
He handles it like a champ. Just a little bit of blood, no big deal. It's normal. And he's back, just
tissue in his nose and all.
Yep, just with a tissue in his nose and all's good as new.
Once again, I think we'll see Jay be a little bit more aggressive this time. And I believe they've stopped. Tissue fell out of his nose.
That's just a little bit gross.
At 220 pounds, Liberty, Trenton Bindle. Lewisburg and South, Gavin Rivera.
And here we go again, hoping the tissue stays in place this time. I feel like the more kind of time Jay takes a timeout, the more his opponent has time to think and strategize. Jay is quickly taking control after the last setup where he was fully defensive. And offense is Jay's thing. He's not as strong as defense as he is on offense.
I agree with that. I think Jay knows that his energy is running low. He's trying to put all of his aggressiveness and just strength into these first couple seconds. I don't know if it worked out right here. Hopefully he has enough energy to last him through this round. Blue Springs South is staying pretty consistent right now. We'll see how this plays out.
You can see that both boys are definitely losing some energy. They're tired. They put it all in the first couple of sets, and now I think they're both just trying to make it through. It is now tied. Blue Springs South is at 5, as well as Liberty at 5. Starting off in a neutral position.
Once again, we're seeing Jay take a shot.
Both boys are struggling to gain control right now. Right now it's just headset fall off. So
comes with an equal matchup. They're both pretty aggressive players. Jay takes a shot and then Trey takes a shot, kind of going back and forth with it.
Looks like we have some wardrobe malfunction with Blue Springs South headset, which is important. I think this has been Jay's one of the most difficult matches of his season, as I think he's almost at a loss of what to do to prevail. And
Both
just
of our
fixing-
players are having some off the mat
yep, just fixing some
type
blood.
issues.
You know, Jay's really taken a blow. And I think that's kind of hurting his game a little bit, just because he's hurting, he's running out of energy.
Definitely can be a mental setback for sure.
He just seems to not be able to stop bleeding.
But once again, this shows the headset, or not the headset, the mindset of these wrestlers. Regardless of headset malfunctions or blood, they're going to keep going.
We are still tied. This has been a really good match. It's so interesting to watch how hard both guys are fighting and just trying to figure it out. Neither one really know what to do at this point. I think Jay's just using that aggressive strategy he has, and I think that's the way to go so far.
I think Jay's tissue once again fell out, but
Get the crowd going crazy with Jay winning with 7-5 in a very, very close match. That was fantastic on both sides.
That was
Hopefully
a good
now
match.
he gets to go sit down and rest. All right, that concludes our matches. Thank you for tuning in. This is at Liberty High School. This has been Claire Hamilton and Carmen Warman. We hope you have a fantastic night.